don't know if I'm ready for this. I've been trying to set up, but welcome to another Retainer Designer live stream. My name is Cade, and I like to do these live streams every Friday. So hopefully you're here to join me. Today I have a challenge for myself. I want to see how fast I can do a Hawley retainer start to finish, and I'm going to do this live, so there's no fancy editing going on to make me faster than I am. I just truthfully want to know how fast I am, and so that's what we're going to do. Those of you out there, check the volume. According to my switcher, I have great volume. According to StreamYard, I don't have great volume, so hopefully you can hear me okay. I've tried to boost everything that I can. But anyway, welcome. What's one of the reasons I did this was it's a good idea to know how fast you can make a retainer, start to finish. There's a couple reasons. How much to charge for a retainer, how much you should pay yourself. If you're a technician or you own a lab, it's good to know how fast you can do a retainer. And then if a doctor calls and wants an emergency, you can actually tell them when it can be there. Or if they really want the emergency, they can come pick it up. That I have done that before. That's a funny story. Anyway, I think I have everything set up around here. I have, of course, my wire bending area. That's stage 1. Again, so we'll have 4 stages in this, and it'll be wire bending, acrylic, trimming, and polishing. So I have the 4 stations, I think, here. So I have my wire bending here, and I have my acrylic here, and I have my trimming here. It just looks really dim for some reason. I'm going to have to fix that when I get over there. And then this will be my pumicing station. I got to move a camera over. I didn't have enough cameras to move over there. But if you're just now watching, last week or the week before last, we did a trial run to kind of see how all this is going to work. And I think I figured out how to do it. But last week was our conference, and if y'all were there, hopefully I got to see you, but I was running around so much I barely got to see anybody. But I'm wearing my new ORG hat, which is cool. I picked one of those up at the conference. I really like it, so I'm repping that today. And so the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a timer going the whole time. So let me see if I still have that pulled up. I don't. So let me see if I can pull that up real quick over here and paste. Nope, I didn't do it. I gotta look for it again. I'm doing like an online stopwatch. Here we go. But I'm used to using two screens to do this, so it's kind of hard to find where we're going to be. Let's see if I can get share screen and window here, share. Okay. This is not. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Not like that. Here we go. Like this. There we go. So I'll have a timer up here going the whole time. It's on a screen behind this screen, so hopefully I can get that going. But I'm going to start with this model, and I'm actually going to go start to finish. So yeah, actually even prepping and all that jazz, I'm going to be including all that. So this is just going to be a Hawley with 2 ball clasps. I'm just going to keep it simple, and we're going to see how fast I can do this. Okay, I think I'm ready. So we'll find out. So let me start the stopwatch, and start, and back to my screen. Okay, now it's going. Let's go here, and I'm going to prep this. I did not have my stuff turned on. See, I thought I was ready for this, but I guess I'm not. So I'm just going to use some pink wax here. Let me brighten this up some. I'm just going to do some blocking out. Y'all seen me do this a lot. So I've decided I'm going to include prepping. I think in the trial run, I decided not to include the prepping. But I really wanted to make this a true start to finish. How fast can I do this? In the comments below, if y'all have done this before, and if you follow the rules I got, so it's going to be from prepping all the way to Q quality control. You know, I'm adjusting it, putting it back on the model, adjusting the wires, that kind of thing. If y'all have done that, put in the comments below how fast you were able to do it. I am not saying I'm the fastest, so. And I found this model up in the cabinet, so just a random model that I found. Because I usually don't get a lot of Hawley with ball clasp. It's always Hawley with something else, Adams clasp or undercut wires or something like that. So there we go. Let me prep for the ball clasp. I have and I'm not going to go turbo mode on this. I kind of want to get a good idea of what it's like. Oh, there goes Pete. I really want to get a good idea of what it's like, just normal pace. Oh, I was not prepared at all. That's one thing to think about whenever you're doing these things, or you know, you're trying to time yourself, or you're trying to speed up. A lot of it's in the prep work. So this is one of the reasons I did not want to show the prepping part, but prepping is a very important part of it, especially with these 3D models. I was actually going to just do I'm putting this under a fan in case you're wondering. I have a little desk fan. And so I didn't really want to include the prepping, but it is a very important part of the time it takes to do one of these, especially a 3D printed model, because of the separator I use. It needs 2 coats, so I got to do 1 coat, let it dry, and do another coat and let it dry. So I'm already, what, 2 minutes into it. Why did my timer stop? No, it didn't stop. It's just not pulling over it's just doing a timestamp, but it is going into background. I didn't test that part. It's all about the prepping. So let me see if I can just pull this in full time every once in a while, and I go full screen. So that's good to know. Okay, maybe I have to come up with a different thing. Hold on a second. Okay, so I'm going to do this other one, and I guess the web browser isn't going to let me do this. It is going in the background. Here, I'll show you it once I go back to it. There we go, 4 minutes in. Yeah, almost dry. Almost first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this timer when I'm done prepping it. And then before I start bending, I'll start that other timer and start it up. And we'll just add whatever minutes we have on this to that. And if I go back to here, yeah, it goes back to 5 minutes. So I'm already 5 minutes into it. I could have been a labial boba now. All right, so this is dry. as long as it's not tacky to the touch. It is a little tacky. We're gonna let it dry a few more minutes. So I got that other timer ready to go. Once I put my second coat on, let it dry, then we'll do the thing. Now's a good time. Hello, how are y'all doing? Anyone who is watching live, y'all get to choose the colors that we're gonna do on this. So any of those colors back there, glow in the dark, pink, blue, yellow, orange, we've got them all, or a glitter or something. Let me know, and I'll try to accommodate. No designs. That takes too long. We'll do another one where I do a design, even though the channel name is Retainer Designer. All right. Yeah, that looks dry. So we're going to. So I learned something new today, that if you have a stopwatch going on a web browser, that it's not going to work. See, last time I tested this, on the test run, I was using a built-in stopwatch to the computer. And it did fine. All right, so once that gets done, we'll take that time, which is... we're at 6:46, 6:49. So we're at that point right now. Maybe I need some background music because there's going to be some waiting. I mean, this is true to life music. Let's see. Let's do this. Feeding the ducks. And speaking of, we don't have a duck cam today because our ducks decided to go to the neighbor's house. So there was no ducks I could put a camera up, but it just would be of grass and nothing else. There was no way we could call them in. They're way too far away. I'm looking out the window in case y'all are wondering what I'm doing. They were way too far away for me to get them to come in. During the summer, the hot part of the summer, it's really good because I can actually pump out one of the kiddie pools that we have and fill it up with water. And they'll come running for that because they love their water. Get a. Let me do some shameless promotion while we're waiting on that to dry. I got my new iPhone or phone cases in. If you're watching on YouTube, it's below. You can order one. Here's one in gray. And it's got my logo, but anyone can. Nobody knows that's my logo. That's my. Anyway, I like it. I got a lot of compliments on it. It's pretty cool. Along with this. And then who you heard earlier was Pete, my rooster. Or my wife's rooster, actually. Sarah, you in there? Yeah, she heard me. I said it was her rooster. Almost there. See, this is a big part of it. So, you know, you're prepping, you're getting ready. Where are we at right now? Probably a good 10 minutes of prepping. The lab I used to work at, yeah, we're at 8 minutes, 50 seconds. The lab I used to work at, that was my main job, was prepping all the cases before they went to the wire benders. Then the wire benders didn't have to do a single thing of prepping. I would draw the design on, I'd reset teeth, I'd grind in Ponix, and since I was a CDT, I could interpret the doctor's script, transfer it to the model, and then pass that model on to the wire bender. And the wire bender, they were fast because they didn't have to prep anything. As you can see, we're going to be 10 minutes into this just on the prepping part. But what's good is you can actually get a few of these going as you go, and then prep one, let it dry, start prepping the other, let it dry, and that's something I developed at the other lab. Diana, hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. I'm not too bad starting today. My goal was 11, but it took too long to set up all these cameras. So let's check this. Again, I'm going to switch stopwatches, so y'all help me remember that prepping. Yep, I think we are done. All right, I'm going to stop the stopwatch. and pause. So 10 minutes, 22 seconds. I'm gonna put that in the comments. Prep, 10, 22. That way we remember. And so I'm gonna remove this stopwatch. Let me go ahead and close that window so it doesn't interfere with anything. Let me know in the comments if y'all have done anything like this before, from a start to finish or anything. Let's see, share screen. Okay, window, clock, share, and then stopwatch, and add to stage. Oh, it found it, put it in there. It's kind of small, but I think y'all be able to read that. So I have the model. It's prepped. You can see the shininess. Let me change camera angles here. Most likely from here on out, we will not be doing stopping the stopwatch and stuff like that. But if I can remember, I'll try to put the time of each stage in the comments. So let's see, I am going to start the stopwatch and then we'll start bending. And start. Oh good, it's running. All right, so let's start the bending. So again, this is just gonna be a labial bow. I'm gonna use 030 wire. I said that funny. I always say that funny. I'm spending precious seconds trying to find. Oh my gosh. Am I out? There it is. Oh, I should have. See, you think you have it all set and ready to go, but you don't. Oh, I want to show these off. I got these new at the conference last weekend. They were Dentarum was handing them out. It was part of your swag bag when you signed up. They have put together some pretty cool swag bags. You know, doing this way where we have the prepping on a separate time, it kind of helps with the debate I had in my head. Do I include the prepping with the construction of the retainer? And I ended up, you know, deciding yes. I think in the trial run, if y'all watch that, I think I decided to go against the prepping, or I was going to use a stone model because prepping is actually quicker on that. The separator actually soaks into the stone a little bit, so it dries faster. Get some, and I think, did I do my favorite pliers live stream before that? Y'all have to look and see. This overhead camera that I'm using, we actually used at the conference. A wire bender. I think her name was Courtney from Perfect Finish. Ortho Lab in New Jersey was teaching a wire bending 101 class. She's way more talented than I am. And you'll find there are people way better at you at certain things, and that is a good thing because your talent as a lab owner will be to use that as your best weapon, you know, your best player. As a coach, you know how to play the game, and you play it, and doing things like this, you know, you can set the standard. Doing things like timing yourself, bending retainers, learning how to knowing how long it takes, and then you can expect the same from your except it probably won't be fair if you're like super fast, but you can set the goal. You know, I want a retainer to be done start to finish in an hour, or I want labial bows to be bent within 10 minutes. You know, something doable that they can do. So we're sitting at 3 minutes. Okay. You can see how the prepping took 10 minutes, so that took too long. And labial bow is almost done. Of course, when I do this, it never does fit the way I wanted it to, but I think we're good. Make sure it's level. Oh, it's a little high. I can fix that in QC. I'm not going to mess with it right now, but you can see what I mean by it's a little high. It's a little bit easier. My opinion is sometimes it's easier to fix in QC. Golly, I need to oil that. Hold that for a second. Hey Sarah, nobody's commented what color they want for this retainer. What color do you want this retainer to be? Do what? What color is that? Nobody's. It's a dummy retainer. So it can be any color. What? No, that's not fair. Whatever takes longest to sprinkle. Maybe I'll have to do an orange. I do like the oranges. Like the royal orange. Ooh, sunrise orange. Yeah, okay, I'll do orange. It'll pop on this gray retainer. I should do dove gray or dolphin gray. Nobody can see that on this model. Whatever takes the longest. I'm going to bend this forward just a bit because I do make my acrylic kind of horseshoe. I don't do full palette. I don't have any doctors that want full palette. All right, second ball clasp. You gotta love ball clasp. They provide really good retention. They're really easy to bend. Steve Zara had a really cool, because you usually have to buy these pre-formed. There's, you know, back in the day you could probably do one, put a little solder ball on the end of one, make your own ball clasp, but they're cheap enough. I get like a 100 pack for, I don't know, 30 bucks, something like that. So they're pretty cheap. Time to make my retention tag, anchor retention anchor thing. There we go. There we go. Double check everything. Make sure nothing's going to stick out of the acrylic too far. That's what I like about these. We talked about the 3-prong in a previous stream. These tiny little 3-prongs that I have, they're really great about making some final adjustments right up against the model. Just make sure you don't scratch your separator. So we are going to Look at the time, 8:23. So wire, 8:23. Proves that we're doing this live. No fancy editing. All right, let's move to here. And we decided on, if y'all haven't noticed, orange is my favorite color. So I'm gonna go with this sunrise orange color. And this is where things start getting quicker. I put a little coat of clear acrylic. I don't have a name to put in. Wow, it's funny how I went to grab for a name. I was actually going to use whoever was watching live and chose the color. I was going to use their name and put it in the retainer. Let's see if I can get this closer for you. Ooh, don't throw up, people. I'm using tiny little droplets instead of big droplets. Sometimes these polymers, these colored polymers, the dye in them will separate with big drops. Like you do a big, huge drop like that. So what I'll do is, it looks like I'm using a lot of monomer. I'm not. So I'm going to put a little clear coat there. Put a little clear coat under these wires. This wire's sticking out a little bit, but I think I'm okay. So the reason I put the clear coat under the wire so I can see it when I go to trim it on the underside. You can also save yourself a lot of trimming time if you take your time on this step. So pretty much in this, probably in every single industry, but especially in the ortho industry, the more time you spend on the previous step, the quicker the next step goes. So if you spend some time getting your wires in the right spot where they're not in your way when you do acrylic, then the acrylic will go faster. And if you spend a little bit more time at acrylic, you won't have such a thick retainer to trim, and so I'll save you some time there. Oh. So now what I'm going to kind of do is just put some maintenance layers of clear acrylic on there, have it soak it up, have the extra monomer soak it up. Whenever I go to cut this, I want this to be almost at the gel stage or a little bit past the gel stage. As you know, ortho acrylics have different stages. One's like wet sand, one's like gel, then it gets rubbery. So somewhere between the wet gel stage and the rubbery stage, I want it to make sure and cut it then. And you, on these 3D printed models, it's very important that you cut the acrylic. You see how much that's soaked in. It's important that you cut the acrylic. Nice, sharp, clean lines. So I don't know about y'all, but I usually give myself, let's say a doctor is asking for a rush. It's like, hey, the patient, their family is leaving for Paris in an hour. Can we have a retainer for them? And I'm like, yes, I can do a retainer in an hour. So it's good to know sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. It's good to know how fast you can do these. So I usually just give myself an hour for basically anything. Anything that involves two models, like an upper and lower occlusal, that takes longer. But most single appliances essay an hour. So you can also check your thickness after you do your cuts. Can you see that? Let's see if I can get some light in here. You can also check the thickness of your acrylic and make sure you're not too thick or too thin. All right, let's put it in the pressure pot. I'll bring you with me. So when I'm in a rush, I will look at the time, which is 1:04, and that is going, I usually try to let this cure at least 5 minutes. You can tell what I'll do is I'll usually put like, you can put your fingernail in it and you can really tell. So I'm at 14 minutes, so let's say acrylic 14, 20, let's say. Hello, good morning. Glad you're joining us this morning. Oh, where are you? If it's morning for you, where are you at? It is afternoon, it is 1:04, 1:05. So we are going to be checking that in a few minutes. So this is another, I'm including this in the time. So it's important when you time yourself, include every step. Not, hey, I can bend in, what did I do, 8 minutes and something, and then acrylic in 2 minutes, and then skip the pressure pot, the curing, and then go into trimming, and I can trim in 3 minutes. You know, include the pressure pot time. That way you have a really accurate example of how long it takes you. Again, like I said before, patients leaving their family is leaving for France or overseas. They're rich, you know, and they want the retainer now, or the appointment was last week, or it was gonna be next week, but they want to move it up. And so, hey, you can also know how much to charge for a rush. You know, if it's 24 hours, I'll do a double the price. And so if it's a difficult case and they want it within 24 hours, I'll double the price of it. And so there's also different ways of doing that. You're in San Diego, California. I bet it's beautiful there too. It's a beautiful day here in Texas. So I bet it's beautiful there. I've always heard it's beautiful there. So y'all could probably have your labs outside if you work in a lab. Okay, can the inside of the retainer be polished a little bit? Yes, a little bit. I do it just a little bit. I was told in school, don't touch the inside, the intaglio surface, because in some cases you can, you can't. What I'll do is, you'll see whenever I pumice it, I'll just run the wheel over it just a little bit. And to me, that's gonna knock off like any pinholes that are in the model. So if you got a model and you got a pinhole in it, that will fill up with acrylic, and then that'll be a little spike on the lingual side. So I'll run my finger on the inside of the retainer, and then if I run the pumice over it a little bit, it doesn't harm it too much. But you don't want to just sit there and pumice till it's slick. It won't seal on the inside of the mouth against the rugae and stuff of the mouth. It won't seal very good. It'll be actually a little space behind there. Let's see, we're at, okay. From Winnipeg. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, hey George. Oh, we talked on the thing. I saw Drew at the conference. He looks just as good as he usually does. I think his wife was there too. I didn't get to meet her, and I think there were 2 or 3 other Canadian lab owners at the conference last week. So you'll have to make plans next year. And I think we already have dates April 4th and 5th of 2025. So we're already making plans. It's probably going to be a huge one because there are just more and more people that come. So yeah, we had 3 or 4 people from Canada at the conference this year, and that's where I got my hat. So if you come, you get things like this and T-shirts. I didn't get a T-shirt. Sarah, did I get a T-shirt? You grabbed me one. Okay, so it's in the house somewhere. Yep. That's an answer. I just started Removable Lab making retainers. For me, it's a challenge. I ship them out. I started a removable. Good job. That, yeah, that wire bending part. But removables, C-clasp, that kind of thing. There's a lot of overlap in removables and retainers. You know, it's pretty cool. Hello from Ukraine. Awesome. I hope you are being safe over there. And that's cool that you're watching this. So, do you have a lab also there? We got a removable lab. He's got an in-house lab, huge in-house lab in Canada. When we talked on the Zoom call, there's a link below if anybody's interested in I'm doing it, a online course for Ortho Lab technicians. There's a Zoom call. I'd like to interview, pick your brain of what exactly you need as I build the course. So as I build the course, it's going onto my Patreon for like a preview for my Patreon subscribers, and they can see it there. Oh, let me check. I gotta check the thing. So, almost there. So now I put it in the water. What I do is a thumbnail test. You know, I try to poke that acrylic. And if my thumb goes into it, it's not ready yet. Sometimes it'll cure on the outside, but the inside it won't be cured as much. So I give it a little extra time. So I put it at 104, and it's 110, 6 minutes. So yeah, let's give it a good 10 minutes. So 114. That way I want it nice and cured, and I don't want it to be hard to do. And you'll be able to tell when you pull it off, it'll be a little soft on the inside. You can poke it with your knife, the acrylic. But this acrylic, if everything's right, temperature-wise, atmosphere-wise, and stuff like that, it's going to be, I think Priscilla, who was at the conference, it was nice to see her again, the one that created all these colors behind me. She's the first FDA-approved ortho acrylic in the country. So actually, I guess the world. She was the first one to get FDA approval for her acrylics, and she's got like 80 colors, and I have them all. So that orange was developed by her, that sunrise orange. And she said maybe 5 minutes. It'll cure in 5 minutes. Again, it depends on how much acrylic there is. So if it's really thick acrylic, it's going to take longer. Like a splint, the guy I worked for before, he said a minimum an hour in the pressure pot. He did not want it to warp. He didn't want it to move. He wanted a minimal of an hour in the pressure pot for the thick night guards. I don't think you have to go that long, but he just wanted to make sure. And at the time he was using Great Lakes acrylic, I think, that bio ice from Great Lakes, that really clear stuff. And then we switched over to JBC's bio ice, the splint stuff. This stuff, we used that, and he was still doing it for an hour, and he actually had 2 pressure pots so that there was no disturbing. So as you do one, again, your time, it may take you an hour. So we're at 22 minutes right now. We're about, I would say, halfway done. As you do more, you bend them, so you prep them all at once. So as you're, and I went over this in the prepping part, you put one to dry, start prepping the other one, put that to dry, prep a third one, put that one to dry, maybe do 4, and then go back to the first one, reapply the acrylic, the separator, put it back, reapply put it back, and then you just keep going like that. Now, the lab I worked at before, we used a combination of 2 separate separators. We were using a lot of stone models then, and it was Priscilla's pink separator, silicone based. I would put that down as the person doing the prepping. I'd put the first layer down, And then the acrylic person, he used tinfoil substitute. It's an old school method. The guy that has a removable lab, ELL, you might know tinfoil. So he used that, but he diluted it 50 water, 50%, and then he would use a brush, a really soft brush, like this Tanaka brush, and he would then, the wires are attached, and he would spray that on there and do one last coat of this separator, this half water, half separator, all over the wires too, and then blow it off the wires, and it worked. It was a weird process, but I tend to do 2 coats, whether I'm using the pink stuff or the green stuff. So, it's 10 minutes. That should be ready. Let's move over to here. My pressure pot is leaking. Now, if I can just get this off without breaking, that's the beauty of. You can see how I'm going to adjust this labial bow later. And this is where a nice clean cut helps. And I'm just kind of teasing it off. So there we go. All right, let's get moved over. Actually, let me put the acrylic in at 25. Let's just say 25 minutes. Acrylic cured 25. Yeah. All right. So let's go to the trimming process. Got this one. Okay. I'm gonna go and steam this real quick and get the wax off. Let's see. Does seem a little dark, doesn't it? Let me see if I can brighten that up. Can you see that okay? I keep having to go back. Yeah, there we go. I'm having to use a different camcorder, and I got 2 different lights here. So I got my suction turned on. I'm going to use this aluminum oxide wheel on high speed, and that's going to get my borders down. And so now you can see while I put the clear coat underneath is I can see the wires, and I'm getting kind of close to that one. And then I'll also, again, I'll do the border of it to the shape I want. And then you can use the edge of it to thin down any thick spots. I think that's got the shape that I want. I'm pinching it with my fingers to figure out the thickness. And then I have these stainless steel bristle brushes. I wonder if I could zoom in for y'all. No, wrong way. Keep zooming. There we go. I'll try to keep it in the frame. So the stains, I steamed that and it still didn't come off. So this is safe to use on wires. It will eat away the acrylic pretty fast. And if you trim around, you get that acrylic off of the wires where you want it. And then you don't have to get that close when you're using a burr. I'm actually going to steam this burr real quick. And then what I do with this, you did the bulk trimming with the wheel, and now you're just going to kind of do some blending, some tapering. Do some tapering, blend that into the wire nice and easy. And what I'll do is I'll put it on the model and check everything. It looks a little thick right there. So I'll trim that down. Yeah, I want it even right there, maybe halfway up the tooth. And then, if you want, you can take the same burr and just do a light touch. You can almost hear a different sound. So this is me grinding on it. This is a lighter touch, and it's going to make it a smoother. So each stage you do will diminish the steps, the cut marks from the step before. So the bulk trim makes gouges, and then you use this to get rid of the gouges and do tapering and blending and stuff. And then I will use this sandpaper. This looks like this, and if you don't know, this is a sandpaper mandrel. So here's another one, and it's on a split mandrel. And you can see that. And you just put the sandpaper in there like this. See, I'm explaining too much. I'm running out of time here. So this is almost like pre-pumice. This will make your pumicing go by so much faster, and it's going to remove all the burr marks from the previous burr. It'll help you see the high spots and low spots. It'll show up a lot easier using the sandpaper. And Diana, I think you asked, do I trim the inside of the retainer? I don't really touch it here. I might run my finger and find a rough spot, like right there feels rough. Yeah, there we go. Because this is going to go up against the tissue, the roof of the mouth. Okay, we are ready. Let's make sure it's all the same level all the way around, the same thickness, and we're ready for pumicing. I'm going to move my camera. Oh. Let's see if I can change it from over here. There we go. So I do use pumice substitute. That's what this is, PS Dazzle. pumice substitute. And I had my wife add some in here for me as one of my preps to get ready. One of the conferences we did one time, we had Norm McMillan. He's a well-known in our industry. I learned a lot from him. And we had a lab set up, and he prepped everything. He could trim and polish in 2 minutes. I am not there for sure, but I don't know what happened there. I thought I had internet, but I guess I don't have internet. Hopefully you are back. Okay, helps a lot when you explain the details. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, that's what I try to do best. Hello, Tino. Okay, so that was, what's my, oh, I don't have my timer. Share screen. I lost my timer. Window, it should still be going. So maybe it's better that, so we're at 37 minutes. Okay. Add to stage. All right, there we are. We're at 37 minutes. So we'll say trim, polish, pumice, 37 minutes. We'll do that. How's that? I don't know what happened to my internet. I guess it went blank for y'all, or y'all still saw it. I don't know. That was weird. I came back and the screen was blank. It said something went wrong. So hopefully everything's still set up the way it's supposed to be. Let me go and scrub this model down. I'll grab that retainer and we'll QC it, and then we can call it. See if I can get it in under 45 minutes. There we go. Get a paper towel. Hands are still wet. All right, so you saw the labial bow, how I caught it on the wheel. So let me show you how I'll fix that. Most likely it bent right here. So I'm going to grab it here and just rotate it forward. Same thing here. Getting there. So I'm trying to get that more upright, although it's kind of going with the canine. That one's upright like I like it. Again, like I said, the more time you spend in the stage before, the less time you'll spend in the later stages. So since I went pretty quick with the wire bending, I'm having to take some time to fix it. So I'm going to bend it here. That's going to drop down that labial bow and do it here. Bend it here on the back side of that loop. I'm going to drop down the labial bow. And it's almost even with the acrylic. There we go. That's flared out a bit. I don't like how that looks, so I'm going to just tuck that in to here. Not touching that lateral, so I'm going to, again, I'm including the QC into the time of this because it's true to life. You know, before you send this to the doctor's office, you're going to QC this, re-bend the wires, because as you know, trim and polish and pumice and stuff, you're going to bend on those wires a bit. Ooh, now it's hard to get off the model. Did a good job. All right, so I'm going to call it there. We are at 41, so I did beat it. Okay, so let's stop that timer. And stop. 41:10. Done. 41 minutes. Start to finish. People can see that. Now it's official. All right, so we did it. 41 minutes, start to finish. That's the, and I wasn't rushing. Of course, I got caught explaining some things. So that was prepping the model, that was bending the wire, doing the acrylic, waiting on the pressure pot, bulk trimming, pumicing, high shining, cleaning on the ultrasonic, QCing. So 10 steps actually. I should have had an official 10-step thing, but that's it. We have finished the retainer. I think it looks pretty good. I like that color. And I would actually probably get a knife. I think I got, oh, here's one. And you can scrape off. That's why I like using sticky wax, because it doesn't smear, it'll just fracture off. So, like I said, I usually give myself an hour to do this. That would help with any issues you run into. But knowing deep down, you know, tell the doctor, hey, it's going to take me an hour. But then deep down, you know, hey, it's only going to really take me, if I go turbo mode, 30 minutes. You know, again, you're going to have to be waiting on the acrylic to cure. You're going to have to wait on the separator to cure, especially these 3D printed models. They take a while to cure on there. That's why I have that little desk fan. But anyway, that's it. I hope that has helped y'all, and hopefully you can do this on your own. If you're watching this later, the recording of this, and you do this yourself, or if you have done it, put it in the comments. basic Hawley, from prep to QC. How long did it take you? I'll be curious. I know I'm not the fastest one out there. I know there's some faster ones out there. So that being said, I am going to end it there unless there's any last minute questions. And we will, now that the conference is over, I'll try to be more regular with these every Friday. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and do the notification bell, because I try to go by noon on Fridays, but sometimes depending on, again, it's just me and my wife, mom and pop, Ortho Lab, and sometimes work gets in the way. But if you do the notification bell, you'll be able to get a notification when I go live or when I schedule a live stream. So make sure and do that if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, I don't know how to do that. I'm not good at Facebook, but but again, a little bit of self-promotion. If you want to join my Patreon, we're not going to do an aftercast today, but I may record something later today and put it up on Patreon as the aftercast. But I did get my new phone cases in, which I think they turned out pretty cool. We have iPhone and Android cases, and I have my Happy Bending coffee cup with Pete on the back, and he did make a present today once. I think that was Pete. Anyway, let me get my fancy outro going, ready, and until then, until next time, until next Friday, happy bending.